Hey, my vibrations. It's V to the I to the B to the mother of 5E. Boom. Back with part 5. I'm hoping to finish it tonight. The Power of Intention, chapter 4, part 5. And we left off, we were at be specific when you affirm your intentions to raise your energy level and create your desires. Place your affirmations in strategic places where you'll notice and read them throughout the day. For example, I intend to attract the job I desire into my life. I intend to be able to afford the specific automobile I envision myself driving by the 30th of next month. I intend to donate 2 hours of my time this week to the underprivileged. I intend to heal myself of this persistent fatigue. Written affirmations have an energy of their own and will guide you in raising your energy level. I practice this myself. A woman named Lynn Hall, who lives in Toronto, sent me a beautiful plaque that I look at each day. In her letter, she stated, "Here is a gift for you, written solely for you in an effort to convey heartfelt gratitude for the blessing of your presence in my life. That said, I am sure that the sentiment is a universal one, speaking for every other soul on the planet who has experienced the same good fortune. May the light and love that you emit forever reflect back to you in joyful abundance." Dr. Dyer. The beautiful etched in soul plaque reads like this: "Spirit has found great voice in you, in vibrant truths and joyful splendor. Spirit has found revelation through you, in resonant and reflective ways. Spirit has found celebration through you, in infinite expanses and endless reach. To all those awakened to the grace of your gifts, Spirit has found both wings and light." I read these words daily to remind me of my connection to Spirit and allow the words to flow from my heart to yours, fulfilling my intentions and hopefully helping you do the same. As frequently as possible, hold thoughts of forgiveness in your mind. In muscle testing, when you hold a thought of revenge, you'll go weak, while a thought of forgiveness keeps you strong. Revenge, anger, and hatred are exceedingly low energies that keep you from matching up with the attributes of the universal force. A simple thought of forgiveness toward anyone who may have angered you in the past, without any action taken on your part, will raise you to the level of Spirit and aid in your individual intentions. You can either serve Spirit with your mind or use that same mind to divorce yourself from Spirit. Married to the 7 faces of spiritual intention, you connect to that power. Divorced, your self-importance, your ego takes over. Here's the final obstacle to making your connection to intention: your self-importance. In The Fire from Within, Carlos Castaneda hears these words from his sorcerer teacher: "Self-importance is a man's greatest enemy. What weakens him is feeling offended by the deeds and misdeeds of his fellow man. Self-importance requires that one spend most of one's life offended by something or someone. This is a major impediment to connecting to intention. You can all too easily create a no match here." Basically, your feelings of self-importance are what makes you feel special. So let's deal with this concept of being special. It's essential that you have a strong self-concept and that you feel unique. The problem is when you misidentify who you truly are by identifying yourself as your body, your achievements, and your possessions. Then you identify people who have accomplished less as inferior, and your self-importance superiority causes you to be constantly offended in one way or another. This misidentification is the source of most of your problems, as well as most of the problems of humankind. Feeling special leads us to our self-importance. Castaneda writes later in his life, many years after his initial emergence into the world of sorcery, about the futility of self-importance. The more I thought about it and the more I talked to and observed myself and my fellow men, the more intense the conviction that something was rendering us incapable of any activity or interaction or any thought that didn't have self as its focal point. With the self as a focal point, you sustain the illusion that you are your body, which is a completely separate entity from all others. This sense of separateness leads you to compete rather than cooperate with anyone else. Ultimately, it's a no match with spirit and becomes a huge obstacle to your connection to the power of intention. In order to relinquish your self-importance, you have to become aware of how entrenched it is in your life. Ego is simply an idea of who you are that you carry around with you. As such, it can be surgically removed by having an egoectomy. This idea of who you think you are will persistently erode any possibility you have of connecting to intention. 7 steps for overcoming ego's hold on you. Here are 7 suggestions to help you transcend ingrained ideas of self-importance. All of these are designed to help you prevent you from falsely identifying with the important ego. Number 1, stop being offended. The behavior of others isn't a reason to be immobilized. That which offends you only weakens you. If you're looking for occasions to be offended, you'll find them at every turn. This is your ego at work convincing you that the world shouldn't be the way it is. But you can become an appreciator of life and match up with the universal spirit of creation. You can't reach the power of intention by being offended. By all means, act to eradicate the horrors of the world which emanate from massive ego identification, but stay in peace. As A Course in Miracles reminds us, peace is of God. You who are part of God are not at home except in his peace. Being offended creates the same destructive energy that offended you in the first place and leads to attack, counterattack, and war. Number 2, let go of your need to win. Ego loves to divide us up into winners and losers. The pursuit of winning is a surefire means to avoid conscious contact with intention. Why? Because ultimately, winning is impossible all of the time. Someone out there will be faster, luckier, younger, stronger, and smarter. And back you'll go to feeling worthless and insignificant. You're not your winnings or your victories. You may enjoy competing and have fun in a world where winning is everything, but you don't have to be there in your thoughts. There are no losers in a world where we all share the same energy source. All you can say on a given day is that you performed at a certain level in comparison to the levels of others on that day. But today is another day with other competitors and new circumstances to consider. You're still the infinite presence in a body that's another day or decade older. Let go of needing to win by not agreeing that the opposite of winning is losing. That's ego sphere. If your body isn't performing in a winning fashion on this day, it simply doesn't matter when you aren't identifying exclusively with your ego. Be the observer, noticing and enjoying it all without needing to win a trophy. Be at peace and match up with the energy of intention. And ironically, although you'll hardly notice it, more of those victories will show up in your life as you pursue them less. Let go of your need to be right. Ego is the source of a lot of conflict and dissension because it pushes you in the direction of making other people wrong. When you're hostile, you're disconnected from the power of intention. The creative spirit is kind, loving, and receptive, and free of anger, resentment, or bitterness. Letting go of your need to be right in your discussions and leaderships is like saying to ego, I'm not a slave to you. I want to embrace kindness, and I reject your need to be right. In fact, I'm going to offer this person a chance to feel better by saying that she's right and thank her for pointing me in the direction of truth. When you let go of the need to be right, you're able to strengthen your connection to the power of intention. But keep in mind that ego is a determined combatant. I've seen people willing to die rather than let go of being right. I've seen people end otherwise beautiful relationships by sticking to their need to be right. I urge you to let go of this ego-driven need to be right by stopping yourself in the middle of an argument and asking yourself, do I want to be right or to be happy? When you choose the happy, loving, spiritual mode, your connection to intention is strengthened. These moments ultimately expand your new connection to the power of intention. The universal source will begin to collaborate with you in creating the life you were intended to live. Number 4, let go of your need to be superior. True nobility isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you used to be. Stay focused on your growth with the constant awareness that no one on this planet is any better than anyone else. We all emanate from the same creative life force. We all have a mission to realize our intended essence. All that we need to fulfill our destiny is available to us. None of this is possible when you see yourself as superior to others. It's an old saw, but nonetheless true. We are equal in the eyes of God. Let go of your need to feel superior by seeing the unfolding of God in everyone. Don't assess others on the basis of their appearance, achievements, possessions, and other indices of ego. When you project feelings of superiority, that's what you get back, leading to resentments and ultimately hostile feelings. These feelings become the vehicle that takes you farther away from intention. A Course in Miracles addresses this need to be special and superior. Specialness always makes comparisons. It is established by a lack seen in another and maintained by searching for and keeping clear sight all lacks it can perceive. Number 5, let go of your need to have more. The mantra of the ego is more. It's never satisfied. No matter how much you achieve or acquire, your ego will insist that it isn't enough. You'll find yourself in a perpetual state of striving and eliminate the possibility of ever arriving. Yet in reality, you've already arrived, and how you choose to use this present moment of your life is your choice. Ironically, when you stop needing more of what you desire seems to arrive in your life. Since you're detached from the need for it, you find it easier to pass it along to others because you realize how little you need in order to be satisfied and at peace. The universal source is content with itself, constantly expanding and creating new life, ever trying to hold on to its creations for its own selfish means. Never trying to hold on to its creations for its own selfish means. It creates and lets go. As you let go of ego's need to have more, you unify that with that source. You create, attract to yourself, and let go, never demanding that more come your way. As an appreciator of all that shows up, you learn the powerful lesson St. Francis of Assisi taught. It is in giving that we receive. By allowing abundance to flow to and through you, you match up with your source and guarantee that energy will continue to flow. Number 6, let go of identifying yourself on the basis of your achievements. This may be a difficult concept if you think you are your achievements. God writes all the music. God sings all the songs. God builds all the buildings. God is the source of all your achievements. I can hear your ego loudly protesting. Nevertheless, stay tuned to this idea. All emanates from source. You and that source are one. You're not this body and its accomplishments. You are the observer. Notice it all and be grateful for the abilities you've been given, the motivation to achieve, and the stuff you've accumulated. But give all the credit to the power of intention which brought you into existence and which you are materialized part of. The less you need to take credit for your achievements and the more connected you stay to the 7 faces of intention, the more you're free to achieve and the more will show up for you. It's when you attach yourself to those achievements and believe that you are alone and are doing all of those things that you leave the peace and the gratitude of your source. Number 7, let go of your reputation. Your reputation is not located in you. It resides in the minds of others. Therefore, you have no control over it at all. If you speak to 30 people, you have 30 reputations. Connecting to intention means listening to your heart and conducting yourself based on what your inner voice tells you is your purpose here. If you're overly concerned with how you're going to be perceived by everyone, then you've disconnected yourself from the intention and allowed the opinions of others to guide you. This is your ego at work. It's an illusion that stands between you and the power of intention. There's nothing you can't do unless you disconnect from the power source and become convinced that your purpose is to prove to others how masterful and superior you are, and spend your energy attempting to win a giant reputation among other egos. Do what you do because your inner voice always connected to and grateful to your source so directs you. Stay on purpose, detach from your outcome, and take responsibility for what does reside in you, your character. Leave your reputation for others to debate. It has nothing to do with you. Or, as a book title says, what you think of me is none of my business. This concludes the 3 major obstacles to connecting to your intention: your thoughts, your energy, and your self-importance. Here are the 5 suggestions for overcoming the obstacles and staying permanently connected to the power of intention. 5 suggestions for implementing the ideas in this chapter. Number 1, monitor your inner dialogue. Notice how much of your inner speech focuses on what's missing, the negative circumstances, the past, and opinions of others. The more cognizant you become of your inner speech, the sooner you'll be able to shift right in the midst of those habitual inner proceedings from a thought of I resent what's missing to I intend to attract what I want and stop thinking about what I dislike. That new inner dialogue becomes the link connecting you to intention. Number 2, lighten moments of doubt and depression. Notice the moments that aren't a part of your higher nature. Reject thoughts that support an inability on your part to match up with intention. Remain faithful to the light is good advice. Recently, a friend and teacher learned of a struggle I was personally going through and wrote to me. Remember, Wayne, the sun is shining behind the clouds. Be faithful to the light that's always there. Number 3, be aware of low energy. Recall that everything, which includes your thoughts, has an energy frequency that can be calibrated to determine whether it will strengthen or weaken you. When you find yourself either thinking in low energy ways or immersed in low, weakening energy, resolve to bring a higher vibration to the presence of that debilitating situation. Number 4, talk to your ego and let it know it has no control over you today. In my children's bedroom here on Maui, I framed the following observation, which they see each morning. While they joke and laugh about it, they get this central message and share it out loud with anyone, including me, when anyone, including me, gets upset during the day. Good morning, this is God. I will be handling all of your problems today. I will not need your help, so have a miraculous day. Number 5, view obstacles as opportunities to circulate the power of your unbending intent. Unbending means just what it says. I intend to stay connected to my source and thereby gain the power of my source. This means being at peace, detaching yourself from the circumstances and seeing yourself as the observer rather than the victim, then turning it all over to your source and knowing that you'll receive the guidance and assistance you require. You've just completed a thorough examination of the 3 major obstacles to connecting to the power of intention, along with suggestions for eliminating them. In the next chapter, I'll explain to you how you impact those around you when you raise your energy level to the highest spiritual frequencies and live your days connected to intention. When you're connected to the power of intention, everywhere you go and everyone you meet is affected by you and the energy you radiate. As you become the power of intention, you'll see your dreams being fulfilled almost magically, and you'll see yourself creating huge ripples in the energy fields of others by your presence and nothing more. And that is the end of the chapter. We've almost hit 19 minutes. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for chapter 5. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm working on getting these videos done earlier. But life is taking a turn. I have school stuff that I have to get done. And it's tomorrow, chapter 5, The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Go get this book. Go get this book. All right. Good night.